Boys, alright, what a day. NVA, 15.5 cents. Look at this. Boom. Alright, so just backtracking over where it's been. So this bullish pennant here, which is what I was talking about with the what I was expecting to be a large breakout move, being about 5.5 cents up to here being the target, with because of the length of this flag pile, 40.5 cents, and we now find ourselves at 15.5 cents. So it's gone even better. It just took a little bit longer than what I predicted. I was thinking maybe around here, but a couple extra days. So what? But I saw this here as a falling wedge. The selling pressure just continued to lighten up, and I thought the change was here. This candle here told me a lot. That was when the news come out that they thought that the different blocks they got at Corbell are all interconnected. So that's obviously going to give them a much larger resource at Corbell, which is one of 15 sites at NVA. And they're starting to speak now of being able to double their resource at only one of their blocks. I think it's Block C or Block D. They think they'll be able to get 7 million ounces. So we're looking at maybe 10 million ounces at just Corbell when we've got 15 more sites to go at Nova. So the potential of Estelle is just fucking massive. And it was this day here that to me was very apparent, and we saw the building volume here, and that was when I was thinking that it's just a matter of time really soon that we'll be breaking above 12.5 cents, which is the 52-week high, and from there there's no limit. And they did a presentation. I'm not sure where it was today. I was working all day, but they've done a presentation, and I think the news was soaked up by the market about what's actually happening at Corbell, and the size is starting to become apparent. As well as that, their next drilling targets Cathedral and I think RPM. They have even higher grades. So instead of the average of half a gram per ton, they got historical grades of 1 gram per ton. So shit could add up quick. So 15.5 cent close. This to me is still a buy. I would have no hesitation in buying NVA at 15.5 cents still. You know, you could wait or whatever, but you know, it might retrace a move from here. It might retrace and retest this kind of range here. But I would rather be in than out of NVA with the potential short-term upside as opposed to the potential short-term downside. I'd rather be in than out. If I had spare cash, I'd be adding, but I'm just adding small amounts of LCL at the moment. LCL to me, it was nice to see it close over 21 cents, closing at 21.5 with building buy pressure. So this has been good to see that there hasn't been much selling as it's climbing above here. We get above here again. We're looking at the highs again. And we've got drill hole news coming in pretty soon. This should be better results from the last one. The last one was basically seeing the extent of the mineralization, whereas this one less so. They're probably looking for higher grades in the next drill. So if it's anything like what they've been getting, I think it should send it. What else we look at? We look at CTM. CTM appears to be in another holding pattern, similar to where it's just come from, which is kind of what you'd expect. So this is a really nice holding pattern it's been through, broke out of it, got into the 60s, and now it's just pinging back and forth between 62 and 67, 66 cents. So again, I'm happy for it to do that. The resource is just going to get bigger. CTM, I think here, it's still a buy. Like LCL is still a buy, and NVA is still a buy. One other I'll look at is LTR. LTR, to me, it's still a buy. So it broke the highs here, all-time highs at 22 cents, 22.5 cents, broke here, and this appears to me a bull flag forming here again. So, and they've got, within the next 8 weeks or so, they're going to be having some strong news coming out of Mora. That's a short, and from what they're saying, it could be fucking exceptional. So the kind of response I'm expecting, or I'm not ruling out from Mora, is basically adding on top of their 400 million market cap, the kind of market cap which they've built over at CHM, and this kind of price action that we've seen out of CHN. If it's anything like Julimar, their market cap here, what is it? Here's a market cap of CHN alone, so it's nearly 1 billion. Okay, but they don't have much gold there that I'm aware of. They got palladium, nickel, but with Mura, it looks like with LTR, they're going to be looking at gold and palladium as well as nickel and copper. So if they start finding anything like what they expect from what they've been talking about, and we know LTR, they don't just talk shit up, they usually under promise and over deliver, we could add a lot to the market cap with having Kathleen filling the bag. And this to me is a bull flag, so I don't think we're retracing much from here. If anything, might be going back down to 22 and a half cents. I think that would be your next level of support. Okay, if you want to wait for a lull, but for me, I'm happy just buying LTR here. I bought here at 29 cents. I didn't give a fuck. That's still a bargain to me. I think this is going to be a $1 stock one day, like Nova will be. Just give it a couple of years. What else can we look at? Vulcan to me is one of my top 4 favorite stocks. It to me is forming another bull pennant. So we see here from about 88 cents, we'll call it, to the top of that flagpole, $1.28. So what's that? How many cents is that? It's 10, 20, 30, 40 cents. That could be a serious break from here. From this point, if it breaks out of that bull pennant, we'd be looking at a similar move to this, like what we often see with these. So we'll be watching here whether it forms a top or whether it forms a break. I'm just happy to hold this one. I think there's massive upside here long term, so I'm not looking at trading VUL anymore. What's PLS doing? PLS, it's going to be testing this overhead resistance, which has always been really strong. Buying pressure is quite weak. Not a whole lot of interest right now. Nothing really convincing. Could go one way or the other, but I wouldn't be surprised if again it just bounces off that overhead resistance and trends down or just consolidates. But at least it's sort of tightening up close to that overhead resistance, which it hasn't done before. So it is meeting it with a bit more consolidation, but still I wouldn't touch it. What else have we got? EMH. So I bought an EMH the other day here, thinking it was going to break out, but the buy pressure was too low. I actually sold it the next day. I sold it here and I put that straight into LCL instead, because I figured the interest and liquidity was too low, so I just offloaded it, and I'm glad I did, because it dumped the next day. It went from 48 to closing at 43 and a half. So this is a stock that I'm really interested in, EMH, but I'll come back to it later when the interest here is up and there's more reason to get involved, because time is money. I'd rather my time being tied up in a stock where we're seeing the interest like this and we're seeing a powerful pattern forming. What else do I look at? TSO's one to watch. So the grades coming out of LCL are better than TSO. And we can see how this stock has been performing. Very steady. What else? Yeah, that's about it for now. Well, I'll leave it there. Good work on NVA, boys. That's an awesome win today.